Welcome to the Gentleman's Guide to the World Below. It's been a while since we last discussed the world below, but Ryan, one of my subscribers, a thoroughly decent man, and someone who decided to pick up a hard copy of the world below, got in touch with me via MatthewDawkins.com to request a video, which all of you can do. If you pick up a hard copy of the world below, which is always linked in the video description, you can reach out via MatthewDawkins.com, my website, and request a video of your choosing. And Ryan enjoyed the world below setting so much that he wanted a video about it. Specifically, he wanted to know more about the Well Liches, who are, I guess, the archetypal supervillain in the world below setting. Certainly, if you play the expected campaign of adventurers who delve deeper and deeper to find the well, to wrest power from it and return it to your settlement, to provide a boon to their crops, defense against monsters, or just simply empower the populace, you are going to eventually run into at least one Well Lich who opposes your ambitions. This isn't to say all Well Liches are out and out evil. Certainly they have very few moral questions when it comes to protecting the power of the well. They are prepared to murder, they are prepared to enslave, they are prepared to create chaos portals beneath entire settlements and send them crashing through into other worlds if they believe that settlement is going to threaten their power base. But where the Well Liches came from is clearly a source of much conjecture in the setting. What is known is at least several of them started out as explorers, as adventurers, just like many who descend to the well today. They managed to seize this purest form of power, they used it, and it rendered them into what a Well Lich is. Well Liches aren't immortal, but they are extraordinarily long-lived, with no signs of degeneration as they grow in age. They can be destroyed, though it takes a great deal of effort to do so. One particular Well Lich, Four Lurls, was destroyed by 6 gold dragons in an event that is still spoken of across practically every settlement in the world below, much to the other Well Liches' chagrin, because they do not want people talking about how it is possible to kill them. But Four Lurl's death or destruction occurred within living memory, and so it's still a hot topic, no matter how much the Well Liches may wish otherwise. So it is possible to destroy them, but not everybody has access to 6 gold dragons, and not everybody would want to try. The old saying goes that if you venture down to the well to seize its power, you are then faced with the question of what do you do with it. Certain people think that power corrupts. As soon as you touch the source, you will become a Well Lich, you'll become contaminated, you'll be tainted, you'll be mutated, you will become what a Well Lich is. Others will say that it's actually the mental and moral erosion that turns you into a Well Lich, that once you have this power in your hands, in your mind, in your body, wherever, in a series of chaos rocks strung around your neck, you are faced with that quandary of, do I give this to everyone I meet? Do I reserve it just for my people? What is it to say that my people deserve it more than these starving people? If I renew the crops in my land with this well power, this raw, undiluted chaos, what do I do about the other starving settlement a few tunnels away? Do they have to rely on their own adventurer? How much do I share this out? Do I just keep it for myself because I can't trust it with other people? Yes, that's probably what I should do, because if I give this out, if I dole out one of these chaos rocks to every single burger and guild within my settlement, who's to say they will not do something untrustworthy? Who's to say that they won't just make a grab for power? Who's to say they won't become a Well Lich? No, in that case, it is better that you handle it and you make the decision. You take the responsibility, but ultimately you're the only person trustworthy enough to do so. That is the point where many become Well Liches. They may even start with a malevolent deed. They will return to their settlement, they will do as they say they will, but then they won't help others because they have to look out for themselves and their own. And eventually this power will run out and they have to return to the well. But this time the Well Liches don't oppose them because they can already see that mark on you that tells them, this survivor is going to join us sooner or later. How much that plays with the soul of the individual is, again, a philosophical question. Some Well Liches are known. They have identities, mostly cloaked in absolute fear. Murala, for example, is, on the face of it, beautiful, darkly beautiful. She has long, glossy, black flowing hair that seems to defy gravity and swirl of its own volition. Beautiful by any measure. The very image of Fortuna, some say. But while that human side of her is visible, attractive, seductive even, she also has 6-meter long segmented beetle legs rather than human legs. And while her arms are human, they are augmented by 10-meter long, agile, prehensile black tentacles that they sprout from between her shoulder blades. Now, she often conceals her true nature because, like all Well Liches, she can shapeshift. This is the form, however, for which she is most known. She emits some sort of magical cloud of opaque black smoke that clings to her and moves with her, and that she can see perfectly through where the vision of other creatures is blocked. Murala doesn't speak often, but she does pride herself on moving silently. Her customary voice is low. Sensual, she purrs, and she always wears a mocking smile, and she is one of the more human Well Liches. Ilver, however, well, he often appears as an expressionless, black-haired man, middling years, clad in ankle-length crimson robes. They rise behind his shoulders in tall gliding wings he can use to unfurl, to surround himself with a shield of tough leather-like flesh. He rarely speaks in public, much as Murala, though veteran traders who have reached the well say he forms secret bands of adventurers, usually predominantly human, who work with him on missions. Again, a seemingly reasonable Well Lich. And then we start getting to the less human ones. For example, Narsar usually appears as a bucket-shaped floating human head as large as a wagon with 6 prehensile tentacles writhing around the edge arc of its bottom. In this form, he has a very deep, reverberant voice, but speaks seldom and in flat tones. The Well Liches aren't given to grand proclamations and long conversations, as you can tell. They are meditative, mostly. They remain around the well until they don't need to be. He's known to have mastered magics or personal powers that enable him to emit well energies from his flying body in precisely aimed beams that can melt stone, metal, or flesh, lash out lightning bolts, or, rarely, confer healing energies. Narsar rarely travels far from the well. He is one of the Well Liches that is rarely seen outside of those adventurers who really want to delve deep into the world below. But on occasion, investigators may sight him in the basalt stratum, and deeper than that. They don't know what he's looking for, and frankly, no one yet has been foolish enough to get in his way to ask. Yaklara, she appears as a 7-foot-tall, slender, jet black-skinned woman, ankle-length gown of matching hue. She often likes to turn sideways, fold herself into passage walls, and stand still to watch and listen. She occupies more or less than 3 dimensions. Invisible, unless you know to look for her. Her piercing gaze eyes are crimson, her face is thin, her chin juts, and she's always calm, she's always cold, she's always of clear thought. No matter what threats she faces or attacks are launched her way, she is quiet of speech and manner. She has disdain for posers and blusterers, Threats amuse her. Now, outside of Narsa, and there are more Well Liches, outside of Narsa, all of these may sound, on the face of it, vaguely humanoid, if not human. I believe Clara is suspected to have been Anticia before she developed this new dimension. But the question remains, what is their objective? Do they just sit there, stand there, meditate there, accumulating power, occasionally seeing off attackers and thieves, and then return to their thoughtfulness, or are they working on something? Here is what some of the deeper settlements believe. Auracasta, for example, has published a chronicle that claims the Well Liches aren't simply meditating on chaos energy. They are directing it. They are trying to create, at the base of the well, the most enormous functional portal that has ever been seen in all of the world below. Large enough that it could withstand the transportation not just of people, but of beasts, of buildings, of vehicles, of weapons, items, equipment, and so forth, essentially another mass migration. And that this portal is not travelling elsewhere within the world below. This isn't simply to find a better piece of land across the brink or across the sea. This is to take them to another world entirely. Now, when they have famously dropped settlements through their portals, these are unstable portals like most chaos portals that break up everything that passes through it. If you survive such a transition, good luck. If you hit the ground on the other side and are not crushed by alchemically transmuted materials that have followed you through, well, you are very lucky. Fortuna smiles upon you. But this portal at the base of the well, that the Well Liches are supposedly working on trying to stabilize, will be enough to transport anyone who wishes to pass through it. And where does it take them? There is apparently another world out there. It isn't the world above, though some believe it is the world above at a past time, a time before the surface was devastated. It isn't the world below. And it isn't any of these strange fractal worlds that some errant chaos portals take them to. It seems survivable, it seems habitable, it seems peaceful, it seems farmable, it seems like a utopia. The Auracasta Chronicle moots whether the Well Liches are trying to build this so that everyone may escape and live a better life, and that everyone who comes down and steals from the well is in fact ruining the chances of others. Of course, there are other chroniclers, and the guilds in particular, who would say that is not the case. The Well Liches are building what you could describe as a life raft for themselves, because they know that the well is running out of power, and their only chance of survival is getting to a world where chaos runs in rivers, where there is an endless source. It's always been believed that the well is an eternal spring of chaos energy. According to the guilds, that's not the case. The well diminishes, the light dims, and the Well Liches are working overtime to try and make their way through it and to a better world, and damn all those left behind. So there you have it, Ryan. There's a little bit of something on the Well Liches, the most powerful spellcasters in all of the world below. And yes, there are some dragons that toe-to-toe could probably take out a Well Lich easily enough. There are other creatures too, Hypogean heralds and more, who would give a Well Lich pause. But few have mind like a Well Lich. Few have power over chaos sorcery quite so skilled as a Well Lich. I'm not suggesting that you team up with them or even see them sympathetically, but if you do insist on continuing to study them and you want to make them a centerpiece in one of your games, consider how you can present Well Liches as more than just a devastating force. Sure, one or two of them could be, but what happens when one of them invites you to parley? What happens when you discover that the mission you've been running isn't just for the guild, it is in fact for a Well Lich? How do your characters respond? Do they continue to fulfill the service? Do they get closer to the well and find out more about these grisly beings? You tell me. If you have used the Well Liches in your World Below game, please let me know in the comments. If you would be interested in using the Well Liches in your World Below game, please let me know how you would do so. That always interests me. I would love to hear your thoughts, not just on the Well Liches, but on the World Below in general. If you've given it a try, if you've ran it, if you've played it, if you've bought a copy. And remember, if you've bought a hard copy of the World Below, get in touch with me via MatthewDawkins.com and request a video. I will add it to the list once we've discussed its content. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.